Do you want to be able to pick your own greens and make delicious salads all year round? Today I'm going to show you how to take some greens like this and turn them into these beautiful, luscious leaves. So I love to grow my own salad at home, and I have been for many months now. There is a little bit of a trick though. It is very easy to grow some nice greens like this and then completely leave them, forget about it, and you have some delicious salads for about maybe 6 to 8 weeks, and then that's it. What's next? You've got to do something called succession plant. So you've got to succession plant your greens. You've got to plant some of these out. You can grab some seeds from the nursery or hardware store. I like to grow sometimes seedlings, so you get to see exactly what the greens will be. You just come in these tiny little punnets and you split them up and put them in some nice soil. I like to grow my salads in these pots. I find these like longer trough style pots are really easy, they're a good size, and I do about 2 rows. So like one on the front, one on the back. And I just find it really easy to grow my greens. Now, I usually have a couple going at a time, and what happens is, and you'll see behind me on this side, that these greens, they're not looking so good. These have been in for about, I'd say 2 to 3 months now, and they're getting quite tall and quite, the leaves are very small, they're not good, they won't taste as nice, they're a bit bitter, not as sweet, and they are going to seed. So you'll see at the top these seeds shooting up, and that's a good sign that that's pretty much it. So these are ready to be pulled out, taken out. You can see I've cut all the greens off that I kind of want, and it's time to replant these seedlings. So it's a bit of a life cycle we have here. Now, if we move back to the greens on this side, I've been growing these beautiful lettuces now for about 6 weeks. So I planted those, gave them some time to grow up, and once I started harvesting these, I planted these to make sure I had a follow-up crop. And now these are in their prime production, and I have been for a good few weeks now. It is time to plant my next crop. So you can continue this cycle depending on where you live and depending on your climate. I live around Sydney in Australia, so we have a pretty moderate climate. In summer, like these are in full sun, and now that we're getting close to summer, they will not like that sun and they will not like that heat. So if you live where it's quite hot, make sure that they're getting less sun in a cooler spot. So for me, I'm going to move them somewhere where they get some more morning sun and they're sheltered and protected in the afternoon. And you can do that with a shade cloth, have them under a tree, and that's the beauty of having them in a pot. You can move them wherever you want, whenever you want, and it's just easy. Now, also talking about climate, you can grow these sometimes in winter, again, have them in a warm spot, obviously in a greenhouse. You could even have them kind of inside as long as they get some light. But it is really special being able to come out whenever you want and just cut off some leaves, and they're so tasty, they're so fresh. Not buying, greens and salads and all that from the supermarket. It is amazing, and it is so easy. And I grow a really wide range of herbs and vegetables, and I love to mix these with some rocket arugula, some different herbs such as basil, coriander, parsley, anything, and it's just delicious. So as a good example, this one punnet costs, I think it was about $3 or $4, and you can see now these aren't actually looking amazing. They're looking a little bit dry, but I better get on to planting them. There's probably about 8 different little seedlings in here, and one of these very comfortably fits one of these. So this directly turns into this, and you can see it really comes up, and it only takes 3 or 4 weeks and you can start picking these. And the trick to picking these as well is that when we buy greens from the supermarket, often you'll just get a whole kind of a whole lettuce, whereas when you grow it yourself, it's not the best way to really harvest and to eat your lettuce. The best way is to pick around all the outer leaves. So you can go around, so this leaf, I cut it and then go round and round and leave the center, because the center will keep growing and growing, and it will get taller and taller, as you can see with my older lettuces, until they go to seed. So you just pick the outer leaves again and again and again, and people call it a cut and come again method, and it's really the best for growing these at home, because you can just cut the whole thing or pull the whole thing out, but you might as well keep, taking a few leaves off each plant, and they'll just keep growing back. So this pot as well is plenty for me. So I'm the only one that eats a salad. I've got way too much. Like, this is plenty. It probably would do for 2 people having a salad almost every day. But you can obviously buy more pots and plant more lettuces, but it really goes a long way and it grows quickly and it's fantastic. I highly recommend doing it. To actually plant and look after these lettuces, it's very simple. I like to get some good quality potting mix, pop the potting mix in my pot with some nice fertilizer or some compost, but generally if you've got a good potting mix, it should already have enough nutrients and energy. I then like to plant these in, and it is important to mulch. So the mulching helps to retain moisture and to helps block out weeds from growing. I plant these in, and about every 2 weeks I like to give my, or really all my veggies and my greens some liquid fertilizer. I feel like it really helps to kind of move them along and help them grow. And for lettuces, something like high in nitrogen is perfect because that's going to make them grow and make them get nice and big. They're not fruiting, so you don't want or don't need to be giving them too much, potassium or anything like that. You don't want to rush them to flowering or going to seed. You want this nice, this really good growth. And as I mentioned earlier, if it's getting too hot or too cold, just move them accordingly to get more or less sun, and they will be great. I don't spray them, I don't do anything to these. I just cut them as I want. If you see bugs, you can flick them off. But honestly, look at these leaves, they're perfect. I don't ever really get bugs on these. It's incredible. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a go at growing some lettuce for yourself. This, as I said, is amazing in salads, amazing as a little side dish. Like, it's very, very tasty. But yeah, see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.